If you like to drive around and talk about the latest happenings, this is the channel you'll need. So subscribe and follow Carmentary.
Welcome back to another edition of Carmentary. Neil Hartmann here, driving around in my car, talking about something of interest. So, this is actually like the second or third time I've tried to record this episode. I've been struggling a bit. The main problem was that I tried to record it in my other car, which is a Mitsubishi D5. It has a totally different dashboard configuration, and my little GoPro clip that I have here does not attach easily. So the GoPro ended up hitting the window, and it created this terrible clicking noise. I didn't really realize that. Anyway, so I'm re-recording this episode now. Hopefully I'll be able to say things better than I did the last time. Let's give it a shot. I did this one in Japanese. I want to do it in English as well. I want to talk about the new edition special issue of Diggin magazine, Snowboarder's Journal here in Japan. Fantastic, quite thick magazine. I don't know how many years it's been around now. It's not crazy old, but it's doing very well. It's one of the few magazines that seems to be surviving the digital annihilation. Is that a good word? The digital Armageddon that has hit the printing industry for the last 10 years. A lot of Japanese snowboard magazines have disappeared, gone out of business, etc., etc. And this is one of the few that is surviving. It's a great quality magazine. Good paper, great design, great stories. It is all in Japanese though, as you can see. So for the foreign international community, it's more of a visual thing. You have to just sort of enjoy the magazine visually rather than try to get into the stories, which is what I do. I speak Japanese, but I don't read it or write it. So this issue, and the reason I'm really pushing this one, is that it's called Van Life. It's about the van life. What I have referred to, and through my videos here in Japan, Kardanchi. Same meaning as van life, pretty much. Slightly different variation. I'll get into that later. Living in your van or car or truck or whatever, traveling around in search of freedom, powder, snow, being an eternal ski bum, whatever you want to call it. It's a beautiful thing, and it's one of those sort of subculture genres that has always been there. Make no claim to inventing it or being an inventor of it, but it's just something that has developed quite strongly, probably especially in the last 10 years. Living in your van or car, customizing a van or car is something that people have been doing since cars were invented. There's nothing new there, but taking that to the extremes and creating vehicles and getting all the equipment that allows you to camp out in sub-zero, frigid temperatures, be comfortable, be close to the mountains, be closer to the mountains than anyone else, especially those who are staying in hotels. That's why we started camping out in our cars here in Hokkaido. The whole reason, the whole purpose was to be very close to where we wanted to ride. If it was a backcountry spot, we were parked right there. So you just wake up, you make a coffee, and you get your gear on and start hiking. So, and we were trying to film. I think that's another thing is, for most people, if you're not making a video or trying to take great photographs, if you're just out there for fun, the whole van life thing, it's great, but it's not extremely necessary. When you're trying to capture things visually through photographs or videos, you need great light. Great quality light is early in the morning or late in the afternoon. So if that involves backcountry, that means you gotta hike, and you gotta hike extra early so that you can actually be ready with the camera and the guy in the position to drop in when the light is golden. Again, not easy to do. So that's kind of why we started sleeping in our cars and traveling all over Hokkaido. Everybody, I'm sure, has their own reason. Maybe you want to go to places that are far away from your house, but you just don't want to pay for the hotels. It's another good reason. Sleep in your van at the bottom of the ski resort, save a little money, that helps pay for the lift tickets, whatever. So the difference between the word van life, which is the word I think everybody uses in, English-speaking countries around the world now to refer to sleeping in your car, started as a hashtag, brilliant hashtag. That and cardanchi, which is the word me and my buddies came up with. Danchi means apartments, or especially means like subsidized housing here in Japan. So it insinuates, an apartment block, like a building with many units in it. And our thought was, that if it's a bunch of like-minded individuals, but instead of carpooling, we all have our own cars or vans. And at night, we line them up in the parking lot somewhere, and we all hang out there and, have dinner together or hang out in one of the vans until you're ready to go to sleep. And then you go back to your little house and you have your private space. And so instead of being like van life, it was more like a communal kind of community thing. And that's why the word danchi fits so perfectly. So it was a car danchi. It was like car apartments, which, so, it's a group of like-minded individuals. It has that connotation of a gathering rather than just an individual selfish pursuit. I like that. I think that's a good thing. I hope people understand that. So cardanchi is featured in the magazine along with Austin Smith, Mike Bassage, Life in White, and more. Some great photography, great stories, I'm sure, although I haven't read them. And the cardanchi story is all about Orange Man and Shark Boy, two of the longtime characters that have been in my cardanchi movies, Yamauchi Kazushi and Doi Hayato, respectively. I went out and spent like 2 nights in the vans with those guys last spring and shot a bunch of sort of lifestyle portraits and stuff of their vans. So there's some good stuff in there. I'd appreciate it if you guys and girls all went out and picked up a copy. See if you can find it on the internet. I will try and find out how you can order one internationally, and I'll try to put something in the description below the video. Hopefully, if I remember. Forgive me if not. All right, we're gonna keep this one pretty short. Glad I got to say that about cardanchi. And that was one more thing. I said it in Japanese. I'll say it in English. If you are in your teens or 20s, even early 30s, I highly recommend you do the van life cardanchi lifestyle as much as possible. I really think it's worth it. You're going to learn a lot and have some really valuable life experiences, meet some interesting people. You're going to get to see and feel, locations and views and scenics and things that if you don't do it, you're going to completely miss out on. The sunrises alone, sunrises, sunsets, and stars, those like nature related experiences are harder and harder to get as we build up the world with hotels and all these conveniences of modern living. You have if you go out camping and stuff, obviously you get it, but I think in the wintertime when the skies are so clear, sunrises are later in the morning, sunsets are earlier, it gets cold. A lot of times, people will be rushing back to the hotel for dinner or something, and dinner is going to be like right when the sunset is. Such a waste. just to have the freedom to be wherever you want to be. You can even drive somewhere just to check out the sunset with a westerly facing view, and then drive back to where you want to sleep, park the car, make dinner. All those little things like that. You get so many more experiences packed into each day than you would just by following the general rules of society. So please get out there, and if you have a car and you have the right equipment, make sure you're safe. You don't want to freeze. Don't idle your engine when you sleep. Don't do stupid stuff like that. But please get out there and try to really get those experiences under your belt before. It's never too late, but try to do it when you're young, because the older you get, the tougher it gets to sleep in your car. I will admit. At 47 years old with 3 kids and all kinds of responsibilities and things going on, it's much harder for me to get out and go, hey honey, I'm taking off for 5 days, just gonna go drive around in my van, sleep where I want to. I'll probably be out of cell phone reception. Can't call me. Sorry. It does get harder to do that. So, do it while you can. And remember, drive safe.
If you like to drive around and talk about the latest happenings, this is the channel you need. So subscribe and follow Carmentary.